This is the help video for those of you who are learning to play by ear. Now that you have 12 songs under your belt, I'm hoping that you're getting the idea of listening to a recording and then figuring it out back and forth. In the previous lessons, I've talked about how to match a left-hand note to a right-hand note and to start to get a sense of when the chords change. Well, in lesson 5, you can be even more aware of that because now it's more distinct, especially for the last two songs, Auld Lang Syne and Simple Gifts. You're going to be moving between chords. So we're going to jump there for a second, and then we'll come back to Long, Long Ago. The Simple Gifts song, the left hand is on the G chord. It's given its name by the bottom note, G, B, D, right? So that's the same letter name notes that a guitar player would use for a G chord on a guitar. And then this one goes to a D chord, D, F sharp, black note, and A, okay? You're going back and forth between those two hand positions for Simple Gifts and Auld Lang Syne. So if you're aware of that ahead of time, it can save you a lot. And so the pattern for Simple Gifts, bottom note by itself and then the top two together. If you're curious what you're listening to, okay? Bottom note and then top two. That can help. And then the third line, notes by themselves, okay? And then in Auld Lang Syne, you're playing bottom, middle, top. And then we jump to a C chord. So I had mentioned how play-by-ear musicians start to rely more and more on the chords. They do that sometimes because it's easier, and very often they're starting to make their own arrangements. So the left hand becomes something that they do creatively. They're making it up. So for example, instead of playing this, they might play, and so generally what they do is they take the chord, they add notes, they spread it out, and they make it more rhythmically interesting. A little bit like how there's a rhythm guitar and then a lead guitar. Well, the rhythm guitar is creating that undercurrent, that rolling feeling that keeps the song going. And so a piano player very often will do that in the left hand, and they create patterns that they move from one chord to the other. And then when they're trying to figure out a song, they're listening for the different chords, and that's something that you'll get better at as well. All right, so that's kind of a key into the second two songs. In Long, Long Ago, the thing that I wanted to point out is that I've showed you briefly the rocking business, and it's come in half notes. In this tune, it's in quarters. But the left hand is doing this, right? And then it goes to the F sharp. I mentioned in one of the help videos, if you have your hand a little bit into the black notes, you can reach that F sharp and you don't have to twist your hand or anything. It's just right there. And keep everything kind of in one spot as best you can. And then you're doing, sometimes they'll call it Alberti bass. Common in Mozart's time. We slow it down. But that is just another pattern that they do over the chords, right? So I wanted to point those things out to you because it'll kind of give you a leg up as you start to learn these songs. One of the things that I found over time, if you see a new pattern, so for example, the Long, Long Ago pattern, this, it really, really helps to do some jam. So you're getting real close to making up your own songs. But that's kind of like the recipe. The left hand is doing this rocking thing, and then the right hand is doing a combination of quarter notes and eighth notes. And rather than stress yourself out of only doing like one thing and being afraid of having it wrong, if you do the scale where you get to know those notes, and then you do the echo where you get little bits and start to recognize melodies, then you do your jam where you're just starting to toss things out and see how the hands talk to each other and get along and work together. It helps when you go to the song to already have that. So you're not learning all of these rhythmic connections between the left and the right hand for the very first time. There's a lot on your plate. So, of course, a person who reads music very often is going to be doing that. They literally have to read it. They have to figure out the rhythms. They have to figure out how the left and the right hand go together, right? And so a lot of them get really frustrated. So the scale, the echo, the jam, those foundations, I'm really hoping that you'll be able to memorize that kind of stuff, create your own echoes, create your own jam, keep the scale the way it is for various reasons I'll explain someday soon. And that way, when you go to the songs, you'll find them much easier to play. It's kind of why I set it up this way. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have fun. The next video is for people who are wanting to make up their own music. So if you want to hang around for that, you're welcome to check it out. And you can check out any of the videos for people who are learning to read music as well. Take care.